Movie review number 1220 is Wicked 1. Wicked 1 is a 2024 movie directed by John M. Chu, who also directed movies like Crazy Rich Asians and In the Heights. So Wicked 1 is a movie from Universal Pictures, and I saw this movie on January 12th, 2025 at Cinemark Milford 16 in Milford, Ohio. So Wicked 1 is the first part out of a two-part film adaptation that is based on the Broadway musical of the same name, but is also loosely based on the 1995 novel by Gregory Maguire. It is also like a reimagining of the Oz books, and is also based on the 1939 film The Wizard of Oz. Now, you probably know the Wizard of Oz story that features Dorothy and other characters like the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Wicked Witch of the West. Well, this movie, Wicked 1 and eventually 2, it kind of like takes place before the Wizard of Oz. I believe, anyway. Now, Wicked 1, I have never seen the Broadway musical before or heard the story of the two main characters in Wicked, which are Alphaba and Glinda, until I saw this movie, and it was fantastic. So this movie, like I said, is based on the Broadway musical of the same name. It is about Alphaba. She is misunderstood because of her green skin, and Alphaba forges an unlikely but profound friendship with Glinda, a student with an unflinching desire for popularity. So both students attend Shiz University along with many other students. Glinda is known for being popular, while Alphaba, she is misunderstood because of her green skin, and this causes some people to either be afraid of her, to not want to speak to her, and let's just say they don't really want anything to do with her. Now, Glinda is, let's just say, she becomes a little jealous of Alphaba, at least in the beginning, when some of the other teachers recognize something in Alphaba that they don't in the other students. Of course, some of the teachers, well, maybe a couple of the teachers, like I said, recognize talent and something far extraordinary in Alphaba than the other students. Let's just say it is not all good, I would say. I'll get to that in a little bit. Eventually, though, Glinda does see Alphaba as who she really is, and she is just a misunderstood woman with a good heart. So eventually, the two do become friends, and let's just say that Glinda, well, she realizes that what she has been treating Alphaba was wrong, and they do make amends. Later on in the movie, Alphaba gets an invitation to meet the Wizard of Oz in Emerald City, and she asks Glinda to come with her, and so she does. And so the two of them go to the Wizard of Oz. Well, they go to Emerald City to meet the Wizard of Oz, where their paths will change forever. Let me put it this way: this movie definitely sets up both characters with their future wars. Alphaba is going to, well, in this movie we see Alphaba going to transition into becoming the wicked witch of the West from the Wizard of Oz story, and then Glinda is on her way to becoming Glinda the Good. So this movie definitely sets up the second part, as far as both characters trying to have new wars, and how going to see the Wizard of Oz will impact both their lives forever. Now, I just want to be clear that despite Alphaba eventually becoming the Wicked Witch of the West in the stories, she really does have a good heart. She is just misunderstood and treated differently just because of the color of her skin. But she really does have a good heart. And despite being mistreated along the way, she doesn't really get she tries not to get to herself. She tries to move forward, just try to keep up with her studies. But let's just say that something happens at the university that causes concern of her. And it involves a teacher and some other animals that she befriends. And so one main reason she wants to go see the Wizard of Oz is for him to fix what is going on. But when she realizes the Wizard's true plans, that's when things get really haywire. Of course, I don't want to discuss too much information, of course. Now I know that if you have seen The Wicked Prey, read the books, you probably know what will happen. I only know half of it because, of course, this movie does not cover all of the Broadway play or all of the books yet. But it will be very interesting to see how the second movie will eventually make Glinda becoming Glinda the Good and Alphaba becoming the Wicked Witch of the West. But yeah, this was a really great movie. This movie has been nominated for several awards, including Best Picture at the Academy Awards, along with the Golden Globes. So that is really something. So we see in this movie several actors and actresses, like Cynthia Envrio as Alphaba Flock. Ariana Grande portrays Grinda or Grinda Upland. Jonathan Barry portrays Ferio Taglior. He is a prince from Ridley Country who meets Alphaba in Grinda's school. And even though he is popular through his appearance, let's just say that he has interest in Alphaba. Ethan Stafford portrays Buck Woodsman. He is a Munchkin who is in love with Glinda. Bowen Yang portrays Pathany. He is one of Glinda's college friends. Peter Dinklage portrays Dr. Dillamon. He is a talking dirt and history professor at Shiz University that befriends Alphaba. Michelle Rio portrays Madame Morrible. She is the dean of sorcery at Shiz University, and she sees greatness and power in Alphaba. Of course, let's just say that she might have plans of her own. Jeff Goldblum portrays the wonderful Wizard of Oz, who, interesting in this version, you know how in the Wizard of Oz, the wizard announces themselves as "I am Oz, the great and powerful." Well, in this movie, he announces himself as Oz, the great and terrible. Huh? Interesting. So we also see Melissa Bullard as Nessa Rose Frog. She is Alphaba's younger sister, and let's just say that she uh she wants Alphaba to just be normal, and she doesn't want to make the big fuss about it. Bronwyn James portrays Shensen. She is one of Glinda's college friends. Andy Nyman portrays Governor Frog. He is Alphaba and Nesoro's father, and he does not like Alphaba at all. Courtney May Brace portrays Mrs. Frog. She is Alphaba and Nesoro's mother. Kira Seti portrays Miss Cardi. Aaron Ted portrays Elliot. Sharon D. Clark portrays the voice of Gucci Bear. And then there are many other actors and actresses in this movie. Now, I'm only going to say this because it was in the trailer. There was a brief glimpse or cameo of Dorothy the Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion at the beginning of the film. But it's in the trailer, so that's why I'm telling you this. Also, in the Broadway play, I guess I believe the actresses Adina Menzel, who voices Elsa in the Frozen series, who portrayed Alphaba in the Broadway play, and Christian Chenoweth, who portrayed Glinda in the Broadway play, they made cameo appearances in the Wicked film, which I thought was pretty neat. So, again, I mentioned that this is the first of a two-part film adaptation. So, this movie is called Wicked, or I like to call it Wicked 1. But in the actual movie, it's called Wicked Part 1. The second part will be coming in November of 2025, which will be called Wicked 2 for Good. Pretty interesting. I like to see what happens. But yeah, this was a really good movie. And I can definitely announce that this is one of this movie is probably one of the highest grossing musical movies of all time. Also, one of the highest grossing movies adapted from a Broadway musical. So that is pretty something. So yeah, this was really good. I definitely recommend it. So that's my movie review of Wicked 1. Please and truth in this movie review. Alright, goodbye.